These two hand-me-down cabinets came pre-assembled, which may sound like that saves me time, but far from it. I got these cabinets while still painting, wiring, and getting electronics for Project Tank, but fortunately I love inventing even more impractical ways of holding hard drives. The most recent way you can download for free and 3D print yourself. The timing was also pretty bad because I was trying to set up a wall of networked Raspberry Pi nodes to go with my video card wall. But when you see what I saw these cabinets could become, you'll understand why it's worth all the time that I could have spent modding Minecraft instead. These cabinets, if you squint really hard and face the other direction, kind of look like an old IBM mainframe. Well, they're rectangular at least, and they're also thousands of dollars cheaper. Also, the DIY version will have support for modern features like a mouse and a screen. I'm sure it's every nerd's dream to one day have a computer server, and after this video, and a couple more, most likely, the dream will become reality. The plan is to have a couple 3D printer spools up top with a tape running between them, lots of square light indicators for network and CPU activity, and a couple voltmeters. One feature you might not initially expect is mechanical noise. I remember my old Pentium 3 desktop back in the day made lots of clicking and grunting sounds when it would open an application or load a game. Of course, most of those noises are from the hard drive or the floppy drive, but I still want this to have a very audible indicator of system load. So I ordered nearly 100 4-pole relays, which also happen to have a window so you can see the arms moving back and forth with system load. The first month of Project IBM was getting the top cut to shape, getting a control panel fitted and jigsaw cut for the control panels, and ordering all the components. Into the second month, most everything had arrived: the optical sensors for reading network activity off the switch's LEDs, 5-volt relay modules to feed the noisier 12-volt relay modules, and a motor to drive the tape reels and voltage gauges, just to name a few of the components. As all the parts arrived, I got to 3D printing adapter brackets, mounting plates, and lots of other pieces of hardware we might need to attach all these hundreds of components. Also, wiring 100 relays would be an absolute nightmare, so I found electrically conductive 3D printer PLA and got to designing and printing custom PCBs. I now understand just how revolutionary the PCB was in computer history. With the project timeline now into the third month, we got the control panel and its lights all fitted and squared away, right as the commercial lease ended and we had to get everything moved out. Like I said, great timing. To get the 3D printed PCB's traces printed on, I could have used a dual extruder printer, which I didn't have at the time, but I do now, or printed two models on top of each other, which I did do 5 months ago and wanted to make a video about, and recorded video of, but never actually got to editing and uploading. Oops. Anyway, I'm going to fill in the grooves that I printed in the regular PLA with my 3D printer pen, mostly so I can have an excuse to use it again, but also to make sure that I get the traces printed on both sides of the PCB. For the last few months, and with lots of other life events and projects taking higher priority, we've got the frame beefed up and the layout largely figured out. The power supplies are part of the huge law I scored off the $300 Craigslist deal a while back, and I've spent almost another $300 on 12-volt lamps, relays, optical sensors. You get the idea. But now that I've got my garage largely sorted out, and my list of 6-foot-long electronic device projects is down to less than 4, more than 2, Project IBM is now the #1 priority, which is great, because both me and my friend are moving in the next couple weeks, and we're pretty much up against the clock on this one. The last item on this on-screen list is of course sarcastic, and while putting this video together I'm already changing things, so make sure to subscribe and find out what makes this whole project a little more practical. Of course, I say practical, but it involves more woodwork, a couple redesigns, a second network switch, and I'm gonna leave the rest a mystery for next time. So while you go ahead and watch those videos, like, share, comment, and all that good stuff that YouTube likes, I'm gonna go do the stuff my wife likes and get the garage cleaned up so that this project can finally move out and she can have her parking space back.